Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Varun Tahin. In the previous session on pandas, we have seen how do we select, index and do various operations on data frame by merging them in various manner and apply functions to suit our needs. So if you guys have missed those videos, I have added them in a separate playlist on my channel and you can access them via clicking on the top right corner of the screen. I have also given its link in the description for you guys so that you can access that. Now in today's session, we will see various other ways of getting data other than CSV, which we have seen earlier also. There are multiple ways of getting data into Python depending on where the data is stored. The simplest case is when we have data in CSV files, as we have seen earlier, but often we need to get the data from other formats as well, like other sources and documents such as text files, relational databases, websites, API, PDF, and other documents, etc. So in the following sections, we will learn to get the data into Python from number of sources. In this process, we will also learn how to deal with nuances that inevitably come with getting data from various sources. Now first we will see reading delimited files. So delimited files are usually text files where columns are separated by delimiters such as commas, tabs and semicolons, etc. and each new line is a row. So for an instance, we have this companies.txt file where each column is separated by a tab. So tab is a delimiter here. And how we can read it? The easiest way to read this delimited file is using pd.readcsv, giving the path, separator and header, and separator is delimiter here, which is in this case a tab. Now let's try and read that file. Okay, so what we'll do is import numpy as np, import pandas as pd, as we have done always, and we will use this company's data frame. Let's say pd dot read underscore csv, and then we will provide companies.txt, which I have it under this folder itself, and I will give a separator also here with tab. So tab is represented via /t. So this is a /t. Okay, and then I will try and see its output. Print its head. Okay, so you will observe that from that txt it has taken the separator as tab and it has made this data frame, segregating each of the columns and rows via data. Now there can be cases with previous version of pandas or encoding which is default in your case. In that cases an encoding error will come. The error appears because of a decoding issue pandas is facing. The best way to resolve such problems is to search for help. For example, on Stack Overflow, where you will get an excellent suggestion from the community. So one possible solution to this problem is found here on this link. So when you go here, you will find that it is Unicode decode error while reading CSV file in pandas. So if you guys are facing such issues, so you can check here. They are providing encoding here as a separate parameter in the read CSV, which you can include in your case and it will work. Now we'll see getting data from relational databases. So almost all of us who have worked in some sort of databases have heard that data is commonly stored in RDBMS. Also, it is easy to get into Python. So we'll see the most common one used extensively, which is MySQL. And there are many libraries to connect with MySQL and Python, such as PyMySQL, MySQLDB, etc. And all of them follow the following procedures to connect to MySQL, which are listed here, which is creating a connection object between MySQL and Python, then create a cursor object for opening and closing the connection, and then executing the various SQL queries, and then retrieving the results of the queries using fetch one or fetch all. Now let's work through an example using PyMySQL. So for installing it, we will use pip install PyMySQL. So just simply go to your Windows and type anaconda prompt. Okay, so it will give you an interface just like your command prompt. Here you will type pip install PyMySQL. Okay, so it will collect the essential libraries and it will get installed. So you will have some output like this. Then just close this window, and now you're ready to use that PyMySQL to connect to SQL. So here we will say import PyMySQL in order to use that library. Then as planned, we will follow these steps, which is first creating the connection by PyMySQL.connect. Okay, here we will give the host as localhost, so that it will pick our localhost, which is 127.0.0.1. Then we will give user as root. So guys, this is the default username and password which MySQL give you. You can even change that, so we'll see that later. And this is password equals to root. This is also default, guys. And then there is one inbuilt DB that comes with this MySQL, which is world. So we will use that right now. Okay, now we will create a cursor object as per step number 2. So we'll say c equals to con dot cursor. Okay, and then we'll try and execute one SQL query. So let's execute. We'll say c.execute using cursor object, and then we will do select star from city. Okay, so city is one of the tables here, and then we will select all the rows. Okay, so I will say c dot fetch all. So fetch all is the cursor's another object to get all the results. Okay, you can see that in the last step here. So either we can get one record or all records. So if I execute it, you will see while I print this that it will fetch all the records from that table. Now guys, notice here that it returns a tuple of tuples, that is each row is a tuple. So if we try and print the type of this, you will see that this is a tuple. Okay, and we can even print few rows of it, like we have seen in the case of data frames. So identically this also works. So it will print the first 5 rows for us. Now it would be useful to convert the list into a data frame, since we can now work with data frames easily. So in this case, we can use pd.dataframe function and pass the list version of the tuple. Now let's convert each tuple in the list to a row in df. So for that, we'll simply do df equals to pd.dataframe. Okay, just to create it from scratch. So what I'll do is pass this tuple into this list, convert it into a list, and then I'll just simply print this. Okay, so if I print the head, you will see here that it has converted these rows to the data frame. Okay, now the problem here is we cannot identify the columns here. Okay, so in order to identify the columns, there is a method in cursor which we can use, which is c.description. Okay, so here you will see the first index will always be the column name. So you can always fetch the column names from here. So what we'll do is we will first fetch the fields from here. So in order to do that, we will write a list comprehension in which we will iterate the cursor description. So I will take this and I will iterate it using for I in cursor or description, and I will take the first index, which is the column from it, and name it as fields. Okay, so when I execute it, you guys will see that it has fetched all the columns, and now we can specify the columns parameter here like we have done before. Okay, and specify the fields so that next time we'll get the appropriate column with their data. Now we'll see how to get data from websites. So the procedure used is web scraping here. So web scraping refers to art of programmatically getting the data from the internet. So one of the coolest features of Python is that it makes easy to scrape the websites. In Python 3, the most popular library for web scraping is Beautiful Soup. And to use Beautiful Soup, we will also need the request module, which basically connects to a given URL and fetches the data from it in HTML format. So a web page is basically HTML code, and the main use of Beautiful Soup is that it helps you to parse HTML easily. So in the next section, we will see how to use this Beautiful Soup along with request modules. Now we will check its usability by taking a use case. So let's say that we want to understand why people install and uninstall mobile applications and why they like or dislike a certain application. Okay, so as you guys already know, a very rich source of app reviews data is in Google Play Store, where people write their feedback about an application. So just for this use case, we will take the reviews of Facebook Messenger app. So you can find this on this link. Okay, so when I click this, it will give you a detailed description of this Facebook Messenger app, which comes, and people have written a number of reviews about this application here. So we will scrape reviews of this Messenger app, that is, get them into Python, and then we can do some interesting analysis on that. Now we'll see how do we parse HTML data using Beautiful Soup and request. So to start using Beautiful Soup, we need to install it first using pip install Beautiful Soup, and we need to install the other module also, that is request, by using pip install. So now to install these libraries, we will go to Anaconda prompt again and type here pip install Beautiful Soup 4. Okay, and we will install request also. So pip install requests. Okay, so we already have these as libraries. Now let me close this, and now we can use it. Okay, so generally we get data from website by using these three steps, that is, using request to connect to a URL and get data from it, then create a Beautiful Soup object, and then get the attributes of that Beautiful Soup object with HTML elements. Now let's do these steps one by one. So first we will import requests and Beautiful Soup 4. Okay, and then we'll define the URL from which we have to get the information, that is this Google Play Store link. Okay, now we will create the request, which is requests dot get, and we'll say this URL. Okay, so now we will need to make the beautiful soup object and then get the HTML elements from it. Okay, so for that we'll say bs4 dot beautiful soup, and then we will pass this request object here and say dot text. Okay, and we'll pass here HTML5 lib. So guys, this is just pass in order to avoid the warnings. Okay, so this is an explicit parameter that we are providing here, and we will name it as soup object. Now let's run this. Okay, so once we have this beautiful soup object, we can use it to get specific parts of HTML document. Now if you guys have already worked with HTML, you already know that in HTML the most common elements are either a part of class or are assigned an ID. So a typical HTML code looks like this, with a body, div, and then paragraph with an ID or a class. Okay, so here the easiest way to get specific parts of the web page is using soup.select method of beautiful soup. Okay, so there are various selectors which it gives. First one is for div elements, the other is for selecting the paragraphs with div tags, or using some select elements inside the class, or select all the elements inside the ID. Okay, using hash. So now we need to find either the IDs, classes, or div, okay, inside with which reviews are located, because our main objective is to see the reviews. Now these were some of the old methods to pass the HTML page element by element, but often we have nested structures in div tags that are tedious to manually traverse. So instead we will use some elegant methods of automation using Selenium to get all the required data, and use some inbuilt find and find all methods to get appropriate data we are looking for. Okay, so keeping this purpose in mind guys, we will use Selenium WebDriver to extract the data from Google Play Store site first, and then apply functions to get the data we need. So to download Selenium, we will need to do pip install Selenium again. So what we'll do is we will go to Anaconda prompt again and type here pip install Selenium. Okay, so I have this already in my system, so it's not prompting me to additionally install it. Now also we would need to install the Chrome driver in order for WebDriver to work. So for that we will go to this site, okay, and download the appropriate version required for the Chrome we are using. So to check our Chrome version, we will need another tab and open settings, okay, and go to about Chrome. So here you will see that you have version listed in your Chrome, which is, in my case, it is 91.0. So now again I will go to this site of Chrome driver and I will click on Chrome driver for 91.0 version. So it will prompt me for which operating system I want to download it. So mine is Windows, so I'll click it. Now I have this zip which I can unzip and use the Chrome driver. So guys, I already have this zip in my system, so I'll just use it. So you just need to remember that we need to keep this in our present directory from where we are running the notebook. Okay, so in my case I have kept it along here where my ipynb file is present. Okay, so I'll just extract and keep it here and use it. Now let's use Selenium WebDriver and Chrome driver to extract the data from Facebook application present in Google Play Store. So for it, I'll first load some libraries. So I'll say from Selenium import WebDriver, and then I will import time, and from BS4 import beautiful soup. Okay, now I will have the test URL, which is in our case the URL of Google Play Store where the Facebook Messenger app is present. Okay, now I will give some options. So I'll say option equals to WebDriver dot Chrome options. This is just for incognito purpose. We are adding one option because this is web scraping. So I will add argument and I will say hyphen incognito. Okay, and then I will have Chrome driver equals to R, and I will give the path of the Chrome driver. So in our case, it is present in the present directory, so we don't need to worry about the path. So I'm just giving the Chrome driver here. Now I will give browser equals to WebDriver dot Chrome because we are using Chrome, and I will pass the path of Chrome driver here and then the option. So I will say options equals to option. So this will tell the WebDriver how to open the Chrome, and then I will say browser dot get, and then I will give this test URL to get the data. Okay, now I will instantiate HTML source and say browser dot page source. So what it will do, it will load the page source, and I'll close the browser. Okay, now when we run this, okay, sorry, a typo. So when we run this, we'll have no errors, and then in the next section we will see how to extract authors, date and review content from it. Now let's see the source of the web page for which we are going to get the data. So I'll just open this Google Play Store website for Facebook Messenger, and then I will right click here and do inspect. So you will see that it will open the source of this web page, that is all the HTML text will come. Now from it we have to extract the authors, date and reviews. So you guys can observe that as and when I hover onto each of the elements, it is actually highlighting some of the sections of this text page. So now we have to identify the authors which have given the review comments. So for that we will first need to traverse it down to the review section where you can see the authors with their star rating and when they did a review comment along with the comment. Okay, so I'll simply search one of the authors here in this source. Okay, so I will just click it on this page of source, and at down you will see if you do Control F, it will prompt for a find by string option. Okay, so here I will give that author's name. Now the search will find some of the text in this source, and across you will see some span class with particular ID. Okay, so we'll just copy this in our notebook, and then we will search for another author. Okay, likewise we will search for another author here, and you will see the same ID. Just copy it here. Okay, so you will observe here that all of the authors will have the same ID here. If you search it one by one, okay, this is also the same. Likewise you can see. Okay, so for authors we have particular ID. Then let's search for the dates now. So let me search this date here. So it has this ID. Okay, so I'll say for date we have this ID, and for author we have this ID. Okay, let me verify it with another one. So let's take another date, let's say June 30th. Let me search it here. So it is also giving us the same ID, which is P2TK0B. Okay, now let's search one of the review comments and fetch its ID also. Okay, so here we need to again take the class. Okay, so if I just search another comment, you guys will see that it will have the same ID for the GS controller class, which is this. Okay, now that we have all the IDs for authors, review dates and review comment, now let's start code and check what all data we get out of web scraping. So we'll instantiate soup object again. And I will declare HTML source with HTML parser. Okay, now let me give these class IDs, okay, in a form of dictionary so that it is easier to print. Okay, so we'll create a dictionary with the element first, which is authors, and then dates, and then reviews as keys. Okay, and value will be their class IDs. So this is, guys, we are just generalizing the function here just to reuse our code for each of the logic we are writing. Okay, now we just execute it and then we'll start a for loop. So I'll say for name comma IDs in class ID dot items, and then guys remember that in the review content the class ID is UD7DZF, which you see here will be a div and not a span. Okay, so just for this special case of review content we will change the element there. So how we will do that? So we will say if name double equals to reviews, then we will make the element as div, else in both the cases of authors and date, the element will be span only. Okay, now let us create a list source for storing the result. Okay, so I'll say soup dot find all, and then I will pass the element, comma, and pass the dictionary which says class and IDs. So it will iterate and pass it one by one for the authors, dates and review comments. Now we will create a list, so we will name it as result underscore list, keep it as empty, and then we'll iterate the list which we made for finding the elements, and we will use try and except block here just in case some error occurs, and we will append it to this list. So we'll say val dot get text. Okay, now for except we'll say pass, and then we will print those results. So I'm just separating the elements. So I'll say plus name and then the result. So from the result list we will get the first three authors, dates and contents for now. So I'll just pass :3. Okay, so let's check this. Sorry, typo. Okay, so you will observe here that it has fetched all the authors, dates and reviews here. Now you can do some interesting analysis on this reviews. Example, how many people complain about memory, storage space or built-in camera, etc. on this Google Play Store website. So now this brings us to the end of this session, guys. But before wrapping up, I have for you an exercise to get the shoe price data from Amazon.in by web scraping like we did for Google Play Store. So just give it a shot. I will give its link in the description for you guys. Please let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts solving them or have any questions related to topics taught. In the next section, we will be seeing how to get data from public APIs and PDFs. Please subscribe to my channel if you are an enthusiast on data science. Remember, this is the one-stop channel you can rely for anything related to data science. Please stay safe at your home and keep yourself engaged. Thank you and take care.